Greetings, YouTube. Caster Semenya is a world-class athlete, a medalist in the Olympics. There's a problem, though. The Olympic Committee has decided that she is not feminine enough. What do I mean by that? You see, Caster's body naturally produces a higher degree of testosterone than your average woman possesses. All right? Because of this, the Olympic Committee has decided that if she wants to compete, she has to take chemicals which will suppress her natural genetic levels of testosterone, because that gives her an advantage that other women don't share. Now, from her name, Semenya, you may have figured out that she's black. And as I've been using the feminine pronouns, she's a woman. And there is a horrible habit in the world of sports of targeting black women in ways that white women and white men aren't targeted. Now, talking about hormone levels and chemical makeups that are natural to different athletes, let's look at Michael Phelps, a world-class athlete. Multiple medals, gold medals. His body naturally produces less lactic acid. And lactic acid is what makes your muscles get tired. As your lactic acid levels go up, you have a harder and harder time to keep putting out the same level of force and energy. You just can't do it. Eventually, the lactic acid levels get to the point where you simply can't go any further. You've hit your wall and you're done. But he, naturally, just through a genetic quirk, has levels half that of your average athlete. Is the Olympic Committee going to take away all his medals? Are they going to require an athlete that is like him sometime in the future to take drugs to raise their lactic acid levels to the same as everybody else? This has always been about natural athletes competing against natural athletes. Now, I completely understand why someone would be upset if someone was taking drugs to enhance themselves above their natural limits. That's not fair. But here's the reality. Not everyone has the same natural talents. And that's just the way it is. Michael Phelps got a break in life. Found a sport that works perfectly for his physique, for his build, for his muscles. He found the sport that is absolutely perfectly tuned for him to become a world-class athlete. Now, under different circumstances, he would never have found that and would be an unknown. Same with Caster Semenya. She found a sport that really took advantage of her natural characteristics. She's a great mid-range runner, one of the world's best. And she's already said flat out she's not taking any drugs to modify her body. And I'm hoping that she's got a really good lawyer and they sue the living shit out of the Olympic Committee, because this is nothing less than complete and utter discrimination. You are targeting a black woman in a way that you don't target other athletes. She is not doping. She's just born with an advantage that makes her a really great runner. Just like Michael Phelps was born with an advantage that makes him a really great swimmer. There's no difference. Except, of course, that Michael Phelps is a white dude and Caster Semenya is a black woman. And black women and black athletes always get more scrutiny than do their white counterparts. Why? Why do we do this? Because the people in charge are racist. That's why. Because they're sexist. That's why. Because they're letting their own bias get in their way. They're not willing to accept that the fact that just this black person is just a better friggin' mid-range runner. than other people because she won the genetic lottery. Leave her alone. Let her race. It's that simple. Now, I know I can already hear the little keys clacking in the background, that you're going to start bringing up trans people. And if you know anything about the process of transitioning, you'd know that all that key clacking is utterly and absolutely unnecessary. And that trans women frequently have lower levels of testosterone than average women who have never had any kind of hormone treatment have. So that's just a line of bullshit. And we're not talking about that here. Caster Semenya is not a trans woman. She's just a woman that was born with naturally high levels of testosterone that is an advantage when you're an Olympic athlete. It's just the way it is. You don't like it, okay, you don't have to like it. But she shouldn't have her athletic career ground to a halt because the Olympic Committee are letting their own biases get in the way. So this is bullshit, and she's right to fight it. And I hope she wins. Because she hasn't done anything wrong. She's just a good runner. And some people have a problem with that. Some people say that they don't want black people to win things. They don't want women to win things. They want to make sure that those athletes never get an even break. Even though she's done nothing wrong. Even though she just wants to compete. And they're not letting her. And that's a crying shame. And it's discrimination. And I hope they lose everything in court.